Hey everyone, I'm Ryan with Marine Parts Source. I'm here with Jordan. And if you have ever been looking on Facebook Marketplace at that old beat up boat, or if you've been looking at that boat that's been sitting out in the field for a long time and wondering, I wonder if that boat is worth my time and effort and money and investment to turn it around, well, this video is for you, because today we've got a boat just like that. We're gonna go over it from top to bottom, and we're gonna figure out, is it worth all the time and the work and the money to get it back on the water? Let's get started. We're just walking around and looking at the hull, and what we're just looking for are any like major signs of damage, any gashes, any like major impact that might have happened. That one side over there looks pretty good, but right here you can see something happened. It scraped up the paint real good and the gel coat a little bit, and especially right here there is a pretty major gash right here, and that's going to have to be repaired. So something you want to keep in mind and take notes about if you're evaluating a boat like this. If you know how to do this kind of repair, great, you can take care of it. If you're going to have to get somebody to do it, again, now the costs are going to start adding up. So just pay attention to those things. Make sure you're picking out any of those types of spots where there might be significant damage on the hull. Those scrapes that we saw up on the front towards the bow, seems like they may be continued here. Maybe this was a separate event, but there are scrapes along the gel coat here, and there's a really nasty gash coming vertically down, and that's not gonna buff out, that's deep. There's also this panel missing right here. It's on the other side, but it's completely gone from this side. So you're gonna either have to find a replacement panel from an old boat that's the same model, or fabricate something. I'm not really sure how you fix this, but you know, it'd be something again that you'd want to keep in mind if you're working on a boat like this.
And just walking around kind of eyeballing things, I mean, jumps out to me right off the bat, this rub rail is got a big gash missing out of it. Also got a big chunk missing out of our fiberglass up there, so it's more gel coat work. I'd say you're gonna have a couple more places that we'll find around this boat that's gonna have some nicks and scratches out of it. It's kind of to be expected with age, but at the same time, if you're gonna bring a boat back up, you want to bring it back up, obviously. This
boat's probably 20, 25 years old, so it's not uncommon, but it's just things that you have to mentally account for if you're trying to figure out, is the value here.
Yeah. All right, and because this is a wakeboard boat, you've got a wakeboard tower on it, obviously. It looks like somebody's actually broke this tower. What I suspect is they had it up like Ryan's holding it right now, and we're backing into a garage or something and broke it and broke the welds on both sides. So yeah, you got a guy that's a welder. We got a guy that's a welder that can fix this up. But that's another thing to check off your list. You don't know a welder, you're going to get somebody to actually fix this for you. Our saving grace is we do know somebody this time, so that might help.
One thing that I always like to look at, and that can have some clues for you, is the registration on the boat. So you see here, looks like it's from Texas.
Yeah, and even at one time before that, looks like it was in Florida.
Right, there's like this little faded registration here you can see, FL. So it came from Florida and then it went to Texas at some point. That can be concerning, right?
Yeah, I'd be very concerned about it. Obviously, this type of boat's not something you would normally see in salt water, but it could have seen quite a bit of salt water in its life, and that's really detrimental to a boat if you don't get it cleaned out very well. And
if it wasn't well taken care of and well maintained, if it wasn't flushed after every use, if it was just left sitting with salt water in the engine, in the internals, it could really have done a lot of damage. We'll see. Again, wouldn't think you'd see this kind of boat out on the ocean, but people do crazy things in Florida.
Ma'am, is that what I think it is?
This is Harold. He's friendly.
Oh, whoa!
Now, we just fixed up another trailer for a small aluminum fishing boat, and if you haven't seen that video, why aren't you like and subscribe to our channel? You should be. That video's on our channel, you can go check it out, but this trailer needs some work too. It might be in worse shape, which I didn't think was possible. But
well, a bigger boat is to be expected, I guess, if it's been sitting around just as long.
Yeah, it's definitely taken some abuse. So what do you see here as far as it might need to be done?
Just eyeballing it. I question this jack, how good it's going to be or anything.
I agree.
You see that you got a tie down brake actuator. So has that been serviced? That's going to be pushing fluid back to these rear brakes in this trailer. So does that functionality even work for the surge brakes at all?
Right. That's not something we can test today. We'll just have to check that out.
I'll know it when I get to toting it, but no matter what, we're going to have to break it apart and probably refluid it and check the pads and everything on the brakes to make sure it's good shape.
Totally.
We'll get around to it, but you'll notice on the other side, we're completely missing a wheel off that side. But
oh, wow. How do those wheels look?
These look fine, but the tires, I looked at them, they're 9 years old. They're all dry rotted and cracked, so they're going to need to be replaced.
How did you know the age of them?
Well, so this front one, I couldn't find the date code on it, but this back one, I'll show it to you. It's actually got a date code on it right there on the side of it. So it tells me that this tire was made in 2017. So that's the day that's the year it was produced.
Got it.
Obviously, you see how the dry rot cracks around it as well, which tells me I don't care how old it is, it's ruined at this point.
We need to replace the tires.
Yeah, all 4 tires, which we're going to find a wheel for this other side.
The strap on this winch, it might be okay, but
I would
I
say
don't know.
it's been weathered. You know, I would say if the tires are at least 9 years old, the boat's at least 9 years old. Florida,
More than that.
Yeah, out in the salt air in Florida. How long has this winch been on it? I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and count on how to put a new strap on that at least.
At least, maybe the whole winch.
Bow roller.
That definitely needs to be replaced. It looks like the boat's sitting cockeyed on it.
Yeah.
And we'll get to why in just a moment, but that's bending the roller there. You can see that.
Bumps.
The
100% they need carpet. They probably just need to be completely replaced with new carpeting and everything as well. But all the bump boards are messed up on it.
This trailer is in rough shape.
Yeah, it's hopefully the boat's in better shape. We'll see.
Let's look at this over here. We're missing the one wheel. The other tire's flat. Probably got to
Disregard these valve covers. I don't believe they go to this boat.
No.
The ones that are laying on this fender up here. But
the
fender is completely cavitated in here, completely missing a wheel.
It's also bent.
Yeah.
All because
And this is your brake axle too. So they don't necessarily have brakes on both axles, but this is the brake axle. So you're looking at an entire brake assembly hub. Probably just replacing the entire hub on this trailer. So that's a lot of money.
and that you said the axle's broken, right?
Well, that's what I was referring to about this. You can see it's being held up with this strap. I suspect it's not broken, but either the wheel came off at some point. That's why the wheel's no longer here. But it's needing a lot of work on this trailer.
The whole frame is bent.
Yeah.
Or this fender
The fender for sure has gotten bent up. And that may have happened when the wheel came off. It may have shot up and hit that fender and messed it all up. Who knows? But this definitely needs a lot of work.
Is the trailer worth working on?
I mean, if the boat's good, I'm willing to work on the trailer. Or if you're somebody who keeps the boat in the slip, then the trailer's not so important to you.
True. Okay. All right. Good to know. We probably need to look underneath the boat just to examine the hull, the keel, which again is the spine of the boat, basically. It's just where the lowest point where the two sides of the hull come together underneath. We want to look and see if there's any damage there. Since it's the lowest part of the boat, it's the most likely to take any kind of impact. We want to make sure that there's no major damage down there that has to be repaired. That could be very challenging to do. So you can get underneath and look at that next. Definitely rubbed right here. It's definitely had some wear and tear right here on this piece. I'm gonna go underneath on the stern here, just take a look from this angle to see if I see anything concerning. I'm also see if I can turn the prop easily or if there's any issues with that. If it's wobbly or anything like that, it could indicate that the shaft is bent. That's a pretty major repair if you have to do it. So let me see what I can find out here. There's bottom paint peeling off. So that could stand to be redone. Here's the prop. It does not turn at all. I don't know what that's gonna mean. Here's the rudder. It does move. It looks in good shape. There's a little bit of dings here on this side of the rudder. The prop actually looks in pretty decent shape. There's one ear of the prop here where there's a bent corner on it. I wish I could turn it, but oh, there's a drain right here. And right underneath it, there is a lot of damage to the structure. It looks like, that would have to be built back up. Could be that the rudder got mashed up against the boat at some point. If you're doing this boat, you would definitely want to pay attention to it. Again, that's the thing. It's like there's all these little pieces, there's all these little spots that when you start inspecting it closely, you find, and that every one of them means money, time, both. So it's just about what you want to put into it. So we're up on the boat now, and we can kind of look around, the internals to see what the condition is like. As you can see, a lot of work to do up here as well. in addition to this bent frame, we've got upholstery that's in pretty gnarly shape. We've got rips everywhere. This stuff is probably just tear out and replace.
Man, but luckily though, I want to point out this hard to fix upholstery is in okay shape. It probably can be cleaned.
Just
this
seat
curved
cushions.
upholstery, seat cushions are a lot easier to fix.
a
Then
good
when you
point.
get something like this whole back being rebuilt, that's expensive right there, and it's a hard fix.
That's a good point.
This isn't too hard.
However,
Oh, okay,
there's this.
you got me there. I did find a really nice deck chair in here that does not belong in this boat. Belongs on probably a big cruiser or something. I am going to take this back with us. If the boat comes back or not, this is coming back. We'll refurbish it to be my chair in my office that you can come over and sit in when you come to talk to me.
Great.
Just don't think about how it was. Remember how it was.
Cool, man.
It's going to be great.
I'm glad this was worth it
Brake
for you.
cleaner on that thing.
Yeah, it'll clean up fine, I guess. One thing I'll say about this, you know, it looks like it's pretty gnarly up here. All this dirt and grime and mildew and whatever else, that's all going to clean up. Like every bit of that will clean up. The surfaces of these, of the upholstery, you know, along the gunnel here and all the side walls and everything, that will clean up like new.
I would say these ones right here, you're probably going to be able to see that a little bit once it's cleaned up. But this seat will look 10 times better once we actually put a good cleaning to it.
Exactly. So that's where sometimes when you take a look at a boat that's, you know, sitting in a junkyard like this, or if it's sitting in a field or something, you can say, oh man, that's a piece of crap. It's not worth it. But with a little bit of elbow grease and some soap and water, I mean, you can make some magic happen. And then you start to think, oh, maybe this is worth some time and effort.
Don't write it off just because it's dirty. That dirt can be cleaned pretty easy.
Right. Next thing, and most important thing that we need to do is inspect the engine room and see what the engine looks like. This is where the bulk of the cost and pain and headache and brain cells that you spend on a project will come from is the engine. If the engine's not in good shape, if it's cracked, or you know, if there's some major issue with the engine, walk away. Do not engage. But you know, if there's just some minor maintenance stuff that needs to be done to it, then it's probably salvageable. So let's take a look at the engine, see what we find.
1, 2, 3.
Do it.
This is a hoss of a motor. It's got some real power, and of course you'd expect that for a wakeboard boat. 6.2 is a good size. Looks clean. You want to just try and start it, or I mean,
we'd have to put a battery in. Let's check fluids and stuff first.
Okay.
See if we got some milky oil already, or
good idea.
things like that.
All right.
I mean, I obviously I want to point out too. You know, a good thing to look for is see if there's been a lot of rodents in there, and I don't see a lot of like acorns piled up in here, or insulation's been chewed all over, things like that.
Not at all.
Those are things that you want to run away from, because you know, you get into putting a whole harness in a boat that you may not even be able to get anymore. It's a very expensive thing to do.
Yeah, when you look at like the electrical connections and stuff, they all look, I mean, pretty decent from this angle.
Yeah, and I've been in plenty of them that have been sitting up, and you look in there and it's just, you can tell mice have been all in it.
Right.
And it's, you know, you're looking at replacing wires everywhere. A lot of unknowns.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's check some oil. Let's check some transmission fluid.
Yep.
And you know, see where it takes us.
I mean, it does got a little bit of a fuel smell, but at least it's not crazy over full or completely empty.
Right. Are you checking the transmission fluid now?
Yep.
What do you see there?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have a full cold level on it, so I'm not sure how full it's supposed to be. It does have fluid on the stick though, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And it's you know, pretty red, not brown, burnt, nothing like that.
Right.
Again, doesn't smell bad.
That's definitely a velvet drive. I recognize that dipstick.
Yep. Yep. It is a 1-to-1 ratio velvet drive.
Oh, you see the tag, don't you?
Yep.
1017-004 direct drive.
That's it. Yep.
The stringers are basically the support of the boat inside. They're beams that run the length of the boat from bow to stern. The engine sits on top of them, and they basically are what the strength of the boat that's holding it in, you know, all together. Again, a lot of older boats, those stringers are made out of wood, and they're rotten, it's probably not worth your time. These are fiberglass. It's a little bit newer of a boat. Again, it's, you know, after 2000. And again, they look in pretty decent shape. What we're able to see right here, we're not able to see the entire length of the boat, of course, but the portion we're able to see looks like it's in good shape. The compression test is really what you want to do next to assess if the engine's in good shape, if there's a cracked valve or something like that. But they're kind of hard to reach, and this isn't our boat yet, so we're just going to try and start it and see what happens. We don't have a key for this boat, so we've got a remote starter. We're going to connect to the engine to see if it'll turn over. It won't start the motor, but we can at least see if it will turn over. That'll give a lot of indication whether or not this engine is going to be worth our time or not. What's that tell you?
Turns over. It makes me happy. It's not seized or nothing.
Yeah.
Starter's working good, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Did sound like I heard it, you know, turn over like it should. It makes me feel good.
The spark plugs are really hard to reach. I'm not sure if we're going to do a compression test and a spark test. Those would be the next logical things to do, to test the engine, to make sure that it's got compression, that it's generating spark. And if those things are in good shape, I think the rest of it is something workable. And at that point, the engine, not saying you're free and clear, but you know, it's really good science that this is going to be worth it.
I did find that somebody's been doing some work on this muffler. Probably had cracked at some point in time. That very well could be where that JB Weld actually went to, was on this muffler, trying to seal up whatever was leaking or there.
Sure.
You can see where it's been some, I guess what we call hot water has been spraying out on this exhaust here, where it's been probably leaking at some point. So we may be dealing with a muffler, replacing a muffler, or fixing a muffler. You're replacing the hose that comes off the exhaust manifold into the muffler. But that makes me feel better that I found it here versus I found the JB Weld signs on the motor.
On the engine block or something.
On the sides of the manifold or somewhere. So I feel a lot better about that.
Also, what about that drip that you found underneath?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell where it's coming from. I've got some coolant lines that run around the boat here with some plastic fittings, which are known to be things that leak, or especially over time. So I don't think it's nothing serious, but it is. I did see a couple of drips. I felt some on my hand when I was hooking up that starter wire ignition, but now I see where it's actually dripping on the hose. It's not a whole lot. It's just a couple of drips there. So
And it's definitely water.
definitely just water. It doesn't have any, smell or anything to it.
So a couple other things that you can inspect for when you're down there looking at the engine: cracked hoses, rotten hoses, and also any rust around like clamps, pulleys, any of that exposed metal. Jordan, are you seeing anything like that down there?
Yeah, honestly, it looks great in here. I don't see the hoses aren't cracked. The boat doesn't look like it's been sitting for a long time, which I suspect it has, but at least it doesn't show signs of it. I mean,
Right.
You would see normally dry rotted hoses and a lot of evidence of just sitting and over years of deterioration.
Sure.
It doesn't look like it in here. I mean,
You do see over here the blower hose is rotted out and everything. I mean, that's no big deal. That's easy to replace. But engine hoses, they all look like in really good shape. Mm-hmm. That's just a great sign that, things have been kept in really good condition. Maybe it was winterized.
fully will expect you're going to spend some money fixing this boat up.
No doubt.
Pumps. But I don't want to get into this kind of money. Is what
Exactly.
I'm worried about.
Hundreds of dollars, yes. Thousands of dollars, no.
I ain't got it.
Exactly. Let's look at the panel right here real quick. Is the battery still hooked up?
It is.
Horn works. Yeah, that sounds like a terrible, that's the worst sounding horn I've ever heard, but it does. The electrical works. I probably would replace it with something better. All these switches, look, we got electrical to the whole panel. That's a good sign. We'll check all the connections. If we get this boat, we'll check all the connections and make sure that they're safe, ABYC standards and everything. And then you have all the gauges here. Again, those could be cleaned up. You could replace them. Those are FRIA gauges. These two are. And this set down here. Looks like we've got Teleflex control and steering here. And the control is moving smoothly. I don't know if that's because the cables aren't hooked up. That moves pretty good. Steering wheel feels like there's no resistance whatsoever. So those cables probably had to be replaced.
Yeah, I would say, because I was moving it earlier when you were down there laying underneath it, and if you didn't see that rudder moving.
It did move.
Okay, because I was spinning it around.
Yeah, I did see the rudder move.
Okay. well, then that's a good sign.
Yeah.
But if it's got some play in it,
Yeah, it's really loose. So anyway, so you got that. One thing that I was really happy about too is the windshield is in good shape.
oh yeah,
Those
that
can be
really expensive.
such a pain to replace. I mean, you basically have to get custom.
Yeah, finding one is a challenge, and then they're expensive as all get out.
Yeah, that's right. So clean them up. Maybe something better than Windex, but we'll get them cleaned up. They should be fine. All right, there are compartments up here too. Let's see what we got. Here's an anchor there, and access to all your electrical for the panel is in this compartment here. Jordan, you're gonna love this.
Plenty of room for
Plenty of
activities.
room for the electrical, and there's a massive subwoofer up here.
Oh, great! I love my tunes.
Kicker, an M350.4. Does that mean anything to you?
Nothing to me.
This sucker gets the speakers hooked up. Be rocking and rolling on the lake. Let's see what's on this side. Oh, big storage here. There is some sort of plumbing connection there. Or no, that's electrical. But again, it's just kind of good to pull these things out and see what you're dealing with. That's the one Jordan likes when he's out on the lake. We still didn't find that panel that goes on the outside of the boat over there. What does this reveal? So this is where you would be able to access electrical to run to your nav light there. That's about all that's in here that I can see. All right, so we've done a pretty thorough look over of this boat from outside to in, engine, so forth. And it's not bad. Much better than I expected walking up here and looking at it. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we came and got the other boat from my father-in-law. This is another boat that he had. So he's like, hey, he's been mentioning, hey, come look at this boat. You might want to do this one and work on this one or whatever. I kept writing it off because I've seen this boat from a distance and I was like, I don't just know. Honestly, looking it over, it's in better shape than I anticipated, especially opening up that motor, seeing that it doesn't look bad to me. There's not a lot of evidence of a lot of issues and things like that. So yeah, I feel pretty confident in it. Other than we definitely got some trailer issues going on that's got to be addressed, but probably before it could even be moved. I mean, we're either going to have a rollback come down here and pick this thing up and haul it back to our shop so we can look at it.
Right.
Something to keep in mind if you're looking at a boat like this is how are you going to get it home?
Exactly.
And begin to work on it.
If this was your project, the trailer could be a deal breaker for you. We know people, we're going to be able to get it towed, without any charge. But if you've got to pay somebody, it's going to cost you probably several $100s to get this where it needs to go so that you can do some work on it. And then to actually replace that axle, that could be a challenge too, because it's a specialty axle, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a straight through standard tube axle. It's got brakes on it. It's got torsion springs on there. It's a different special shape so that the whole of the boat can ride lower on the trailer. So it's not just something you're going to go to your local trailer shop and pick up an axle for it. It's going to be a special order item if we got to replace the whole thing.
And in a lot of people's cases, they're going to need a trailer mechanic to basically fix that.
The best case scenario is you found another trailer somewhere that somebody had either sold the boat, kept the trailer, whatever. But
agreed. If you can find a trailer that fits this boat, it would be better than trying to repair this one.
Yeah, you could easily sink a lot of money into this without knowing actually what's going on yet.
So that would be a deal breaker if you're doing this yourself. And then the only other thing that I would say about the engine, we went over it pretty well, and all first impressions were great. I am a little bit concerned, or I'm not concerned. I am a little bit curious about the fuel system. Right? We didn't really have a good test of the fuel system. We don't have some clean fuel here that we can hook it up to. We don't have the key to the boat, so we can't start it.
I don't have fuel pressure gauges here to check any of that stuff. But and it's a big concern with a fuel injected boat versus like a carbureted boat too, where you've got injectors you're dealing with. You got a whole fuel management system in there. Carbureted boat's a lot easier. You just rebuild the carb, replace it, whatever, replace the fuel lines.
So it would be important to, one of the first things that you do if you do get a hold of a boat like this, and especially if it's fuel injected, to check out that fuel system. See what the quality of the fuel is that's in it, hook up clean fuel to it, see if you can run it without issue. May have to replace some filters, and hopefully that's all you have to do, But if you had to get into replacing injectors are expensive. Fuel pumps can be expensive. So those are the things that if those are locked up or, not performing correctly, then that can be an expensive repair.
For sure.
I mean, it can be done.
Anything can be done if you want to spend the money.
Exactly.
Then you're going to have as much money as you're going to have a boat that ran just fine. You could have took it to lake next weekend.
Exactly.
Is that worth it to you?
So those are the things that maybe today might give somebody pause. But otherwise, I mean, I'm not scared of this boat. And then we looked up models like this online, and in good condition, running condition, they were running around late teens, early 20,000s, something like that, you know, like low 20,000s. So if you were able to get into this boat for, you know, $500, $1,000, maybe even 2,000, maybe not such a bad deal, especially if you've got a way to get it trailered somewhere so that you can work on it. And especially if you're planning on doing a lot of the work yourself. And especially if you're buying all the parts at marinepartsource.com, because that's where you can get the parts really affordably and save a lot of money on your project. So make sure you're doing that as well. Listen, we really appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something in this video. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or you can give us a call. And as always, we appreciate it. Like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Let's get scratching.